Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
And the second time is a charm.
So if you press the go live button, the show works really well.
Yeah, well.
See, we take 2 weeks off, and I have to be retrained all over again.
You retrain. That's the way it is. That's what happens.
Happy New Year, everyone. 2023.
But Bob, luckily our audience got here on time.
Great. They were here on time. They were probably sitting out there saying, Zagami probably forgot how to hit the go live button, and we're gonna have to wait and see it all over again. Yeah.
Okay, we got them coming in from everywhere. But before we talk to our audience, why don't we have a nice message from our sponsor, which is Lee's?
We should do that, and I think we'll have Stephanie and Grace tell us.
Hi everyone, I'm Grace and this is Stephanie. We're from Lee's Auto and RV, and today we wanted to show you the teardrop trailers and the conveniences that they offer with all of the things that make it so easy to camp in them.
Yeah, so if you stick around after this video, we're just going to showcase some of our favorite things as women who sometimes do travel alone. We'll show you some of our favorite things about these teardrop campers. So call or visit us and let us know if you have any questions. We are one of the biggest dealers for little guys in the area. We have 3 different sizes, and we'd love to show them to you.
Come on down, guys.
For taking time from your busy schedule to join us here with our first show of the year. And Bob, before we bring on our very special guest, who we had a chance to chat with before going live, let's just see who we've got in our studio audience. I see a lot of people from all over the place here. Let's go back up. Jim Roy was here early. Walter Swenson. Now look, Jim Roy is in Maine, right?
Yes, Monmouth, Maine.
Walter Swenson's Florida.
Walter's here, yeah.
Don and Pat Hawes are in Texas.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go, though. I saw him. He posted something with his motorhome and his car in tow, and I think he's getting ready to hit the road. Doug Turner. And, Doug, you are in Elkhart, right? I think so.
Somewhere where they say y'all.
Yeah. Jim Conboy, New England RV Roof, and you want to make sure you check out Jim's seminar at the Boston RV and Camping Expo. He's got a seminar understanding all about RV roofs, and he does some great work with the Flex Armor system. Maria's on tonight from Florida, And stress
Tony.
is happening. Tony is
Tony,
here.
where are you at tonight? Tell us where you're at, Tony.
I think he's in New Mexico. I think. Happy New Year.
Where are the apologies? Apologies.
Where
Don?
are the apologies? Let's see who's late there.
Oh.
Jerry Plant from Cape Cod. Let's see, Majors RV. Dante is still, I believe, over in Daytona Beach, coming over to Tampa in February.
Yep. That's
what he said. He said, too nice. Sorry,
Daytona.
I'm late. Too nice in Daytona.
Really, no apologies after the hosts show up late. Yeah, that's right. Well, no, Walter, we didn't show up late. We were
late.
No, we didn't show up late. We were here, but Bob didn't press the go live button.
Right, and there's no such thing as the host being late, Walter, because without us, you don't have anything else.
It was 7 years ago when we first went full time. Okay.
Hey, Jason, good evening. All right.
New Year's.
All right, yes, he's heading to Quartzsite. And did Jason check in twice?
No, he's there.
No, he's got,
he's
got an exclamation point, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Tim's
heading to Quartzsite on Saturday. Okay. And I'm supposed to talk to someone tonight who was in Tampa last night, not Tuscaloosa, Biloxi tonight, New Orleans tomorrow night, and then he is heading out to Quartzsite as well.
Really?
Show doesn't start. Yeah, the show doesn't start. So, and Trick. Oh, and is our friend here from?
No, Ryan is not here yet. Ryan will also be on the seminar program at the Boston RV and Camping Expo. Well, we wanted to start off the year with somebody very special that we've known quite some time. Dwayne Cyrus. Happy New Year to you, Dwayne, and your associates at Winnebago. Glad you could join us. But we wanted to start off the year with somebody really special. So we kind of scratched our heads a little bit and said, who would be really great is Earl B. Hunter Jr. And I've known Earl back to his Sylvansport days.
There he is.
The man, the myth, and the legend.
Right here, baby. Good to see y'all.
And Black Folks Camp too.
Right on, we do.
This is a great start to the year, Earl. And I know how busy you've been. It seems for the last few years since you launched Black Folks Camp 2 and you're out there giving keynote speeches. We saw you out in Las Vegas. We're going to see you down in Tampa in a couple of weeks. How many miles a year do you put on?
I think we probably did. First of all, Happy New Year to all the folks that are listening in. Happy New Year to you two, you fine young hosts. You guys are amazing. And like you said before, you weren't late. You were just tweaking things. But I just want to say to everyone under the sound of my voice, we're going to have an amazing conversation. I know you guys are going to pick my brain. I'm going to pick yours. But we as a company, Black Folks Can Too. I've been on the road. Our staff has been back home in their respective places, and I've been really just singing the messages of not only just Black Folks Camp 2, but our infamous Unity Blaze, which is the campfire that you see behind me, which means treat everyone everywhere equally, and it doesn't matter your race, your age, your gender. As a company, we just want to make sure that we're promoting more unity in the outdoor community and beyond. So a lot of miles.
Oh, girl, let's get this off the table right now, because I think there are misconceptions out there.
Yeah.
You're not talking about, we just want Black folks to go camping and only go camping with Black folks and take over a state park or anything like that. You're talking about everybody.
Absolutely.
About your logo, Earl.
I tell folks all the time, what we found in America, to be frank with you. So we launched our company in 2000 and let me just give you a background. First of all, I was an executive in the RV industry, one of the only Black executives in the RV industry for quite some time when I was in the RV industry, and it's a $114 billion industry. Well, being in the industry and understanding the industry and seeing where it was and understanding the landscape of the industry, I felt like the industry was missing out on some prime real estate, which is the consumer that looks like me. So I left my post at Sylvansport as the vice president of sales at Sylvansport and started Black Folks Camp 2. And when I started Black Folks Camp 2, my mindset was to share with folks that, yes, Black folks do camp. We do RV. We have been RVing for some time. That's not our target audience, to customers, to consumers who are already camping. Our target audience of Black folks who've never camped before, who've never had the opportunity or even know what RVing is. And what we found when we launched our company in 2019 on the stage of the outdoor economy, we found out a lot of Americans couldn't read very well. It doesn't say black folks camp only with black folks or black folks camp by themselves. It says black folks camp too. And two, TOO means as well, also and as well. And so, so we promote as a company, absolutely we want to see more black folks RVing, because if you RV and and you've been RVing for quite some time, you know that you've rarely seen many black folks RVing. There are a couple of groups out there that have black folks camping in those groups and things of that nature. We're not a group. We're not a club. We're not a nonprofit. We're a business, and our business is very profound in the fact that unity blaze, which is the campfire within our logo, we believe that unity blaze will be bigger or as big as the Nike swoosh, because it means treat everyone everywhere equally. And if you are wondering, if you are under the sound of my voice and you're wondering if you're part of everyone, absolutely you are. If you're wondering if we're talking to you, absolutely you are. We don't care about your race, your age, or your gender. We just want to make sure we get folks around that campfire in campgrounds all over the country, all over the world, and start having conversations. And we're going to find out we got more same than differences. That's how we feel about it.
You're right. And before you get off that topic, I also want to say I've known Earl now for, God, I don't know if we're
almost 10 years.
Yeah, almost 10 years. And knew him very well when he was at Sylvansport as the vice president of sales. And when Earl joined Sylvansport, they were doing less than $1 million a year. And make no mistake about it, Earl was the sales department, the VP of sales. He ran sales, he ran the people, he ran the products. When he walked out that door, Sylvansport was a $17.5 million company. So this isn't, not only is this a guy with a dream, he knows how to move dreams into reality.
Absolutely. Bob, I'm glad you shared that, because I tell folks all the time, I like to build businesses, and one of the greatest businesses that I've been a part of is Black Folks Camp too. And the reason why is because I believe that the campfire within our logo, which is that logo in that campfire on our logo, I believe that campfire is going to galvanize spaces in our country, particularly in the outdoors. And once we get folks in the outdoors, we're going to find out that the folks are going to find out that RVing, who've never been RVing, they're going to find out that camping is so amazing. They're going to find out that you're going to be eating different type foods from different places. You're going to meet different people. And then you're going to find out that, hey, we all got some of the same issues. We all are dealing with some of the same issues, but we all have one thing in common, which is RVing, which is camping, which is what I love.
Hey, Earl, that campfire.
Yes, sir.
I mean, for a camping thing, there's probably several logos that you could have shown a picture of a trailer. You could have shown a picture of the mountains. You could have shown a picture of a lake. Could have shown a picture of the ocean that I'm on right there.
Right.
But there really is magic in a campfire, isn't there?
Absolutely. I mean, it's the oldest form of light, the oldest form of heat, the oldest form of gathering, and the oldest form of cooking. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your lineage is in this country and beyond. Your lineage came through the campfire, right? However, though, there are a lot of folks out there that look like me that don't really know even how to start a campfire. Don't really know what a campfire looks like and feels like. And we believe that as a company, it's our duty and it's our business to help those individuals understand what the RVing lifestyle is, understand what campfires is, but also it's our duty to share with the current lifestylists, current RVers, to know that there are a group of folks out there that have no clue on what this industry looks like, and we want them to invite those folks into this space.
Well, Earl, here's a piece of trivia for you. Do you realize that Jack Daniels, invented Jack Daniels, took the first sip around a campfire in Lynchburg, Tennessee?
I tell you what, and you talk about Jack Daniels, boy, I've done my share of cocktail tasting around the campfire, so trust me. And it looks like we're having a campfire conversation right now, literally and figuratively.
That's right.
And you may have some Jack Daniels in that glass, but I won't speculate. So
there's something else, that we want to talk about, because one of the things when you started Black Folks Camps too, you are a data-driven person.
Absolutely.
You build all your companies on data and facts. So nobody's going to trip you up on the information that you present. But when you spoke to the dealers at the RBDA convention in Las Vegas. You always talk about the opportunity when you talk about Black Folks Camp 2. And NERV is going to be part of that program real soon, as is
Right
the
on.
North Carolina RV dealers, to do that. Talk about the opportunity. How much money Black people spend in the outdoors every year, and the amount of money that dealers, the RV industry, consumers are leaving on the table.
Well, so think about it. So Black folks spend not just in the outdoor industry, in just period. We spend close to $1.5 trillion, right? We're one of the largest consumers of commodity products in the country and the world. Yet we don't spend very much money in the outdoor industry at all, which is the outdoor industry as a whole is about an $880 billion industry. Yet there's not a lot of data to show how much we spend in the industry because we don't spend very much at all. And however, though, this is a great opportunity for the RV industry, the campgrounds around this country to really capture a new audience. For instance, I know and the inventory is stacking amazing at these RV dealerships. Well, I always say to folks, when you have inventory, you have to go find customers. You have to go find consumers. And you have to know how to go get those consumers. And if you don't know how to go get those consumers, you're probably saying that you don't want those consumers. So there's a huge opportunity, for RV dealers, anyone in the RV industry to tap into a new marketplace, to tap into a new consumer, not alienate your current consumer, but to go get a new consumer. And the new consumer is there, whether it be just Black folks, Hispanic folks, more white folks, more Asian folks, Latino folks, Native American folks, Asian folks, anybody. That consumer is there. It just so happened that as Black Folks Camp 2, we just believe the greatest way to go get the customer is these RV dealers, RV manufacturing signal to the world using the unity blazer. They treat everyone everywhere equally. And then and when you do that, you now start at the toenail of the elephant, you start to create marketing programs and plans to actually go after that new customer. And that's where our expertise is. That's where our expertise lies. However, though, as I said to the group in Vegas, and I'll say to anyone who's a part of our network, we don't help we don't help businesses do what we're saying and go get that new customer until they completely understand the why we were created as a company and then why we're doing our work. We need you to be totally all in, because this is not a box checking company. We're not a kumbaya company. We're an ROI company. And ROI for us means return on inclusion.
Hey, I've got another podcast engagement for you. Tony Bartel says, have wanted to have Earl as a guest on our podcast for some time. Well, Tony, the way you get Earl on the podcast is you send him an email or you call him up and say, Tony has the Stressless Camping podcast and newsletter. Great guy. He's going out to Quartzsite. And so consider that you can have Earl on your show. And we'll make sure that I do the introductions afterwards so that you can get onto that one. Because
Bob, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for assigning yourself as my agent right now, man. You are the man. Thank you.
I'm not even going to take commissions, Earl.
Exactly. So the folks who just came on board, the Stressless Camper, go through Bob and John and reach to me, because those are my agents. I just started as of about 3 seconds ago.
Okay. Now, Earl, there's something I got to say. We're 22 minutes into the show. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, we're 20 minutes into the show because Sagami screwed up the first 2 minutes.
First 5 minutes.
We need to get you some excitement and enthusiasm, because you're just laying back there quiet and docile. and we got to get you some juice, man.
Well, John, listen, man, I've never had a bad day in my life, right? I tell folks, I'm just like everybody else. I have flaws. I've gone through some tough things in my life, but I always tell folks I've never had a bad day in my life. I've had some bad moments, but I just don't have any bad days, because I just think my great days are ahead of me, because my days behind me are gone. I just feel like that as a man, but also as a person who's running a company like ours. There's no company in the country, in the world, like our company. We may be the most delightful company in the world, and we stand on that, right? We have an amazing staff and everything. And so I'm excited every day, John, every day to go out and do this work so we can actually create more unity in the outdoor community and beyond.
Okay.
So,
Now, another thing.
Ed Laturco is with us tonight. Hello, Ed. Hope everybody's good and well at home and you enjoy the holidays.
Ed had a question there, Bob. Can you get Ed's question?
Okay, Earl. Can you relate to the comment, white people like to complicate camping, black folks like to simplify camping?
Well, I can. Let me just kind of give you a few pieces of background. I think you think about black folks in the outdoors. You think about camping. Look, we need to be so we don't walk on any eggshells here. Let's just be honest. If you've been RVing for the most of your life, you hadn't seen many black folks RVing. You know that. You may have seen a trickle. You may have seen a few here and there, and you may or may not have asked that question why. Right? Well, you think about it. Black folks in regards to the outdoors, it's something that we had not done. And there's a lot of reasons why. There's a lot of generational fear in that space. There's a lot of spaces where black folks weren't going into the woods at all. And if you started camping early on in your lifetime, you didn't start off early, really in a travel trailer. You may have started camping in a tent and things of that nature. So there's a lot of generational fear in there, and lack of knowledge and lack of invitation. So what I'm finding right now is that black folks particularly want to RV. They want to continue to have their creatures of comfort right now. We have that data that shows that black folks rather RV, rather get in an RV. But however, though, rather getting in an RV and seeing an RV pull down, being towed down the road or driven down the road, is different because they haven't really been invited to come to the dealerships. No one has created this huge platform to say, we want that customer and we're going to go out and get that customer. So I think the comment in regards to white folks make camping complicated is because you've been doing it for so long. You got to find other ways to make it cool, where you have another group of folks that just want to get in and hook up, have a good time, and cook their food and go about their business, right? So I don't know if white folks want to make it complicated and black folks want to make it simple. But I can tell you this, though. I think camping is pretty dope. And I think that black folks, white folks, and everybody else who is starting to camp, you're finding out that you have more in common than you have differences when it comes to RVing. Our RVs are all made the same for the most part. They all have the same issues and they all have the same pluses. And so when you're able to have conversation with folks and talk about those pluses and those pros and cons, you're going to find out that sometimes it can be complicated. And most of the time it can be simple, though.
All right. Laurie says, hard to find a good, honest salesperson. Well, I hope not, because we get a lot of good, honest dealers in NERVDA, but there are some, it's interesting. There are some salespeople that have never been camping. They may sell RVs, but they've never been camping. So they haven't walked in your shoes. And how can you sell to a new audience if you've never been camping? It would be very difficult to talk to a black family coming in to buy an RV if you yourself haven't been out there to experience it.
Yeah, I'm glad you made that point. I'm glad that was said. As a company, one of the greatest things we've done as a company, and what we're doing now, is educating dealers, right? Educating dealers about not only just the black consumer, but educating dealers about the consumer period. We created an amazing training program that is educating dealers how not only just to reach out to consumers that look like me, but also to have help consumers who do not look like me have a delightful experience too. When you come on these RV lots, we want the consumer. Because we're a part of the industry, and we want that consumer to feel comfortable when they're coming there to the RV, to those lots, to those shows. We want them not to be intimidated, but that starts with the sales folks and at these RV dealerships. And we want those dealers to be exceptional in regards to the experience that the consumer has, because we want that consumer to return. As you all know, and Bob and John, when you buy an RV, it's a lifestyle, right? It is a lifestyle, and you're probably going to buy another one in your lifetime.
Yep. Walter Swenson, our resident engineer. Walter's also going to be doing a seminar at the Boston RV Show with Scott Baer from Karen Consulting. And that one's called Camper to Camper. They're going to moderate a panel of campers, talking to the campers in the audience and answering all your questions. So make sure that when you get to the Boston show, check the seminar schedule, get up there and see Walter and Scott. But here's a good one. He says, the Campfire blog is a good way to keep up with the activities for Black Folks Camp 2. So obviously you've been on your website, Earl.
Well, thank you. We always say, Black Folks Camp 2, we've been doing a lot here, Bob, in the last 3 years. We partner with probably almost 13 states right now that also govern state parks. We're doing a lot of content. We're doing a lot of educating. I've been keynoting to every state park. As a matter of fact, you can't be a partner of Black Folks Camp 2 unless you either take our training or you come to one of our keynotes to hear the why we exist, so we can get to the what, when, where, and how. Listen, I tell folks, this is not complicated at all, right? It's not complicated when you have the why and now you have the what, when, where, and how. You can go get that new customer. And while we talk about that new customer, which are more Black folks camping, we also, when we say Black folk, we won't get more Black folks camping. We're not alienating anyone else. We just want to make sure that those families out there that are experiencing, so they can experience camping, so we can also keep our industry healthy, right? Our industry.
This isn't a trade-off, one versus the other. This is
not at all
expanding the pool of talent and expanding the pool of prospects, which every dealer should want to do. And especially now, as we start to see a little bit of dip in the sales, they're going to have to work a little bit harder to get those sales, but they've got a ready audience if they reach out and advertise to them and make sure they come to the open houses, make sure they come to the RV shows.
Well, the misconception is that, I'll never forget this. I was in Louisville doing one of our industry shows, and we don't have that show anymore. And I was talking to a top executive at the Louisville show, and I asked him, you look at the room here. Why am I only Black executive in this room? And or have you even thought about going after that new customer, which are folks that look like me? And but unbeknownst to him, unbeknownst to me, he said the reason he gave me why the advertising and things that weren't going to target folks that look like me, when he gave me his reason, I knew he didn't know what he was talking about. I knew right then I needed to leave that side of the industry and get on the outside of the industry to teach these folks that there is a consumer out there, a huge consumer out there that is looking to do the same thing that the current consumer is doing, right? And in order to do that, you have to speak that language. You have to be able to encourage that consumer. But even at that, though, our company, what we've been able to do too is help the industry find talent, workforce talent that doesn't look like the current workforce talent, so they can be a more diverse audience to address other folks that are coming to these dealerships, right? Good. This is all about education there, Bob and John. That's what it really is.
Yep. Hey, Bob, as we head into the break, we got to take a break.
From Luturco says, love it, Earl. I knew I was going to like this guy with the first few words he started this evening. Yeah, there ain't too many people. I don't know anybody that doesn't like Earl B. Hunter Jr. Yes, sir.
Wait. He's talking about me.
Oh, well, hey, Ed, thank you so much for that comment. Let me tell you something, brother. I'm 46 years old, man, and I tell folks, no man in my family has ever lived to be 72 years old, and I have 13 uncles. I was born and raised in the South. Love it. It's beautiful. Meaning that if I'm on the same bloodline of my uncles, I got about 20, 25 years right on this earth. And I want to spend my time. I want to spend my time encouraging more folks to look like me to go out and enjoy the outdoors and go out and enjoy nature. If you don't know it, I'll go ahead and tell you now. Black folks, we die from diabetes and heart disease more than anyone else in this country. And a lot of it has to do with stress. A lot of it has to do with exercise. And what better way to cure that than to go out in the outdoors and experience RVing and experience the outdoor lifestyle. And that is my legacy. That is my duty to make sure that happens.
All right, take a deep breath. I'm going to play one more commercial for our sponsor.
And then we got to tell our audience about these great gifts that Earl's going to give to us.
Earl's got some gifts to give away, and I've got some tickets to give away for the show.
Right on.
Where the hell did it go? I'm just going to.
It's that Coca-Cola you got in that cup over there.
Do that one. Our sponsor, of course, is Lee's Auto and RV Ranch in Ellington, Connecticut. Brian Ligenbuell and Gracie and Faith and Stephanie, they sell everything. Teardrop trailers are big. That's what they'll have at the Boston show. Big on Class Bs, big on trailers and fifth wheels. And one of the things that I've always liked about Lee's Auto and RV Ranch, they do a large business in pre-owned pickup trucks. So you can actually buy the trailer and the truck to pull it at Lee's Auto and RV Ranch, do it all in one package. Been in business for 28 years. It's a good family business, independently owned. So make sure you stop by and see them at the show, and they will be waiting to talk to you there.
And if you can't see them at the show, they're in nearby Ellington, Connecticut. Really convenient to Springfield, convenient to Hartford, and convenient to Providence, and convenient to Worcester.
Yeah, very, very easy to get to. And if you forgot the dates, Boston RV and Camping Expo, January 13 to 16, coming right up, starting week from Friday. And I did want to have Earl come in as a keynote this year, but his schedule wasn't accommodating to our schedule. But I'm telling you right now, we will have Earl Hunter at the Boston RV Show in 2024. Come hell or high water. And I don't care if it is your birthday, Hunter.
Well, you know, it's not much as my birthday is.
Priorities.
Well, you
it's
know,
a different month next year, Bob, so that's good.
Well, the other thing is, though, you know, I have a 12-year-old son who's a hell of a football player. And so we're traveling down to Florida, not only for the RV show, but also to see my son get off, man. He can play. And he got a bloodline.
Tell the story about the year that you took him across country and what you experienced.
Yeah. And so, Bob, I'm glad you asked that. You know, so Black Folks Camp too, I always tell folks I've thought of my greatest ideas in the outdoors. So when I was at Sylvansport, you know, I spent a lot of time for my family. I spent a lot of time for my son and my daughter. I have a 10-year-old daughter. And I had, most folks don't know this, I'll go ahead and tell them, is that, you know, I drove over 300,000 miles around North America while working for Sylvansport as the vice president of sales, selling in our campers to different dealers and things of that nature. From North Carolina to Nova Scotia to BC, BC to San Diego, and San Diego to Miami, all in between, opening up RV dealers. So I didn't spend a lot of time. I missed a lot of time with my family and my children. And so my son, you know, he challenged me. He said, "Hey, Dad, you're going to take me to Mount Rushmore. You've been saying that for 2 years now." And mind you, I had driven around Mount Rushmore 2 or 3 times based on business. And so finally in 2017, my son had said to me in January, he said, "Look, you're going to have to talk that talk, walk that walk, Dad." So in June of 2017, my son and I packed up and we drove almost 3 months, over 14,000 miles around the outer skirts, the west of North America. And we camped at about 46 campgrounds. And here's the thing, 20 states, and we only saw one Black family camping in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And that's how Black Folks Camp 2 basically started, because the young lady who we met, that Black family, and by the way, my son and I were shocked when we saw them, because we hadn't seen any Black families at any campgrounds that we had gone to, and we had been gone for almost 3 months. And so when we saw them, and they were in just the opposite rig they were in. We were in a truck pulling a pop-up camper, and they were driving an Integra bus. And I can remember when it stopped, I can hear the air brakes. And when they got off the bus, we hugged and embraced each other, because to be frank with you, they hadn't seen any Black folks camping either. And it was one of those deals like, ah. And so the mother of that group, she challenged me. She said, "Hey, listen, if you're one of the only Black executives in that space, and you feel like that there should be some changing in that space, how about you do it?" And, you know, it really crossed my mind it took me about maybe 6 months to really understand what she meant. And then we launched Black Folks Camp 2. So it was an amazing time bonding with my son. You know, he didn't know how to swim. I taught him how to swim. I had to chastise him once or twice to let him know I was still Dad, because he hadn't seen me. It was an experience that him and I never forget in our life. And if you are a parent and grandparent, one of the greatest things you can do is take your kids out in the outdoors and show them how amazing camping is. John
takes his 6 grandkids, sometimes 1, sometimes 2. He's been known to probably take all 6. He's always with his grandkids. Absolutely.
Right on. Right on.
Let's check some comments. John, ask a few questions there. Keep Earl talking. I'm going to check comments to see what else we got.
Earl, we just showed the calendar up there, January 13th through 16th, Boston RV Show. And you got a calendar there you want to talk about, man?
I do. So before before I talk about the calendar, I would like to say this. As a business, as a company, we don't accept donations, right? We're not a group or a club, nonprofit. We have to go out and make our own dollars. We make our own money to go so that we can actually put those dollars back into the advocacy work that we do, right? However, a lot of the ways we do that, with our Unity Blaze sticker, we want folks to brandish these Unity Blaze stickers. We want you to purchase these stickers and put them on your RV rigs so that you can share with the world that you treat everyone everywhere equally too. And you may say, well, I don't need a sticker to tell everyone I treat everyone everywhere equally. Well, then you won't have a problem putting the sticker on there anywhere if you already do, right? And so we also have these amazing keychains on our site, on our website, which is blackfolkscan'tdo2.com. On the back of that keychain, it says exactly what we're doing. It says we are changing the world one campfire at a time. And then secondly, in that space, if you go to any of the REI stores or any outdoor retail stores, you may come across some of our Unity Blaze socks, these all wool socks. And I was 45 years old when I learned that you can wear wool socks in the summertime. Well, we partnered with Farm to Feet Socks. They put our logo there, and that was amazing. And one last product that I always show folks is that we have our own insoles, right, to go in your shoes. And as a matter of fact, in the insoles that we partner with our friends at Oboz Footwear that is located in Bozeman, Montana. And Oboz means outside Bozeman, Oboz. In our insole, it has the Unity Blaze in the inside, and it has put a little soul in your step, right? Put a little soul in your step. Put a little soul in your step. Put a little soul in your step.
Watch out. Gami might start dancing.
There you go. And
look at Jim Conboy's comment.
Right on.
To Earl's point earlier. Earl got me thinking. In the last 5 years, we've done 650 plus roofs. That's his New England RV roof. And I've only had 3 black customers. Sad. Then I think of the campgrounds I seasonal at, and there are no blacks. Sad. Yeah. This campaign and this company has so far to expand and
absolutely.
And you're not here tonight as a first timer. We've had you on before, but talk about some of the companies, name brands in the RV industry that are starting to get the message and support this program.
Absolutely. One of the biggest wins that we have is that we brought 27 dealers on in North Carolina RVDA came on board, and they said, listen, we want to go get that new customer. Earl, we hear what you're saying. We don't know why that customer hadn't been coming, but we want you to teach us that. And so we created this amazing training program to help those dealerships understand the why. And now it starts to get their mind to thinking, and those dealers in North Carolina have been a very big force for us, because now we see other dealers that are coming on board that want to be a part of this Unity Blaze messaging, to get this beautiful certificate and also to get this amazing pin to wear, so they are signaling to particularly the world that they treat everyone everywhere equally. Well, there are so many companies. I've keynoted at Winnebago. I have another keynote with them at the end of the year, at the end of the month. KOA is one of the groups that I'm actually keynoting to here in the next couple of weeks. We want to make sure that folks understand, and particularly in campgrounds, that there is a lack of black folks in those campgrounds, right? And there are reasons why. And we want to make sure that we're speaking from a tone of data, and speaking from a tone of really understanding the why, so we can get to the what, when, where, and how. Not only that though, we have a lot of state. Again, I talked that earlier. A lot of states. I just keynoted to New York State Parks, Wisconsin. I'm going to Missouri here shortly. Nevada, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida. All these spaces are saying, listen, we hear what you're saying. And what I'm telling you all, to the gentleman who just posed that question, I want to say this to you, and I want to let you know this. We're at the toenail of the elephant, sir. We're at the toenail of the elephant, and we're rising. And I truly believe that the Unity Blaze itself, that campfire on our logo, will be as iconic as the Nike swoosh. I believe that.
Talk about your activities with Go RVing, because you're doing a lot with Go RVing.
Absolutely. So as you see this banner behind me, right, we partnered with Go RVing actually to create our educational platform for these dealers. We felt like, listen, if we're going to get into this space, we may as well contact the folks who are actually in this space and doing some good work, and some folks who want to do good work. And RVIA and Go RVing, those folks have partnered with us to say, listen, we want to make sure that we treat everyone everywhere equally too. And if you look at all these beautiful photos down here, I can tell you this one thing: these photos represent North America, South America, all over the world, of people and faces, and truly what we mean by treating everyone everywhere equally. So, we're only getting bigger. We're about to launch something really extraordinary to help keep the campfire going. We have a lot of different products that are coming out. We are building an extraordinary business to make sure that the RV industry is whole, make sure the RV industry is healthy, and to make sure that the RV lifestylers are more diverse so we can start having more conversation around the campfire.
Let's Adam Parks is going to the Boston show. He says hello, Bob and John. He says hello, Earl.
Right on.
Charlie Butler, evening, folks. Let me take a second, Earl, if I can take into your time just a little bit. We just concluded something today that we can announce tonight. And John, you've been too quiet, so why don't you address Mr. Sell's comment? And you make the announcement.
We are doing something very exciting and special on the opening, the first full day of the show. I mean, what is it? Friday is what, 4 to 8?
Yeah,
so,
not Friday. It'll be Saturday before the show on the 14th.
Saturday show before the show. In the entry area before you get into the show. And we're going to be doing a live broadcast of RVing in New England. And we've got some cool things to give away. We've got the opportunity for our audience here that's attending that show. What are we doing? 8 to 9 in the morning?
8 to
9 to 10?
I think it's 9 to 10. The show opens at
9 to 10. Yeah, the show opens at 10.
An hour before the show.
Come on down and be part of the show.
We will be right across from the ticket booth and just after the will call booth. We'll set up there, and Bill Sell, you folks know him as our alternate producer. He's our best producer.
Our best producer, yes.
He's our best. He makes the show better than I do, but Bill is going to orchestrate the event, set everything up. John and I will be there. We'll sign autographs. Maybe we should have some black and white photographs made up, John.
Of us or Earl or what?
Well, probably y'all, y'all fit the, well, we got black and white. That's good. Put us up there, baby. We'll be great. Black and white make great. Let's do it.
Earl, send some of your stuff up. But what it all boils down to is it's going to be, it's that time period where people are waiting in line and there's that anticipation. It's like when you're going to a concert or to a football game or to a basketball game or a big event and you're not yet in the show and there's that pregame excitement that we're just going to have some fun with. We're going to test the limits of a free microphone and go to some people that are standing in line and put the camera in their face and the microphone in their face and say, hey, why are you coming to the show? What do you like about camping? What do you like about RVing? Are you here for the first time?
This was the creation of Bill Sell. John and I are not that smart to do it. This is what Bill does for a living.
Yep.
Events, virtual events, and in-person events. I've known him for over 20 years, and we couldn't have a better partner to work with on this show. So come to the show early and have some fun with us.
As a matter of fact, hey, Bob and John, I'd like to add to that. Instead of, what I like to do is we have this amazing calendar that we partner with America's State Parks. And in this calendar, on the back of the calendar has our logo. And we were really partners with this calendar to help pick some of the most amazing photos that were taken at state parks around our country. And we sponsored this calendar. And so what I want to do is I'm going to send you all about 25 of these so that you can have them at your show, so you can give them away to the folks when they come in. How about that? For the folks that ask for them and all that kind of good stuff. How about that?
The ones that we put on video. Yeah, that'll work out well. Yep.
Yeah. I'll take care of you.
All right, man.
So Earl, you got to give us a special. You gave us a little sneak preview before we went on the air, but you got to let these folks out here that are watching the show. What did you do during COVID time there, man? What's under that hat?
So it's funny, I tell folks, COVID, the before we really knew that there was a quote unquote anybody talked about a vaccine, with COVID. I actually had COVID, and it was one of the toughest things I've ever gone through in my life. I'm one of the most happiest guys on the planet. I tell folks I've never had a bad day in my life, but I had COVID for over 26 days and couldn't go to the doctor because all the beds were shut down. But during that time, it took me through some trying times. A guy as healthy as I am, right? And even going to the doctor before and after, they deemed me to be healthy, right? And so because of that, I tell folks I always wear my hat. So nobody knows this, right? I always wear my hat, but I also go to barbershops around the country when I want to get data in regards to Black folks camping. And so when I go in the barbershop, they always get shocked because they always see my hair, how long it is. And normally my hair is kind of a high and tight buzz cut, but I've been growing this for almost 3 years now, and I have not cut it, and I will not cut it because it's something very very sacred to me because of that time I spent in COVID.
Earl, I don't want to steal your thunder
for 3 years too, Earl, but nothing's working.
I was just gonna say.
I
didn't want to steal your thunder, but Zagami's been growing his hair for 3 years. And look what the hell he's got to show for it.
You need to get some soul glow in your hair, man. That's what you need, baby. Get some juices and berries, man.
Hey, I gotta tell you this.
Don Haas from down south, Texas, Athens, Texas, is back on the road. He says, we have met several Black folks and other minorities who have gone through the training and become RV technicians here at the National RV Training Academy. Around the campfire, we're all the same.
Absolutely, we are. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you said that because we're about to announce something. I'm signed to the NDA, so I can't share this, but we're about to announce something that we're doing with one of the largest companies in the world in regards to making sure there are more Black folks that are actually in the technical field and in regards to maintenance and things of that nature, whether it be RV or diesel engines and things of that nature. So we have something extraordinary about to launch that I think that when you all see this, you'll know that we are out here doing some amazing work to not only to I always say, folks, we're changing the world, but actually we're shifting the world to make sure that folks, everyone in this country feels like the RVing is for them, the camping is for them. You're right. Once we all get around that campfire, and I can say this to it, I'm blue in the face. Once we all get around that campfire, we're going to start having more conversations. And those conversations are going to be conversations that are going to be so delightful that we're going to find out we have more sames than differences. And I know that because I've experienced it, I've facilitated it, and we have the data to prove it.
Yep. And I said earlier at the start of the show, there's magic. There's magic in a campfire.
There is magic.
And when I don't know if you had campfires when you were out with your son, but when you look across that campfire and you see the glow on a little kid's face, you can't buy that glow, Earl.
Well, you're right. As a matter of fact, everybody at the time, that I was taking my son, I hadn't camped very much at all in my lifetime, and I got
even though you were selling them.
Yeah, I was selling the campers all the time, but I hadn't camped very much because as a child, I never went camping. My mom told me don't go in the woods. I never went camping at all. However, though, I learned some things around the campfire. I learned to cook over an open fire. I learned that s'mores are cool, but roars are better. With instead of using a Hershey, I use Reese cups, right? And so we call those roars. And I learned that. And I also learned that that the folks around the campfire, they smell my cooking over there, and they came over in droves over there, right? Matter of fact, when I was with my son, he went around the campgrounds and invited everybody to our campground for breakfast every morning. So I had to go get food every single morning, every evening to cook breakfast. So hey, it was fun, particularly in Oregon.
Wherever you are, you draw a crowd. And one of my early introductions to Earl was when he would come up into New England and support Hemlock Hill. In fact, I'm surprised we don't have anybody from Hemlock Hill tuning in tonight. They carried the Sylvansport, and I'd go down to the Hartford show, and you'd walk up and down the aisles and you'd see a lot of people, but then you'd come to one aisle and you couldn't get through because they were congregated around something or somebody. And then when I worked my way through the crowd, it was Earl giving a demo on the Sylvansport. And to the comment earlier that Laurie didn't know any professional salespeople. Earl had probably more product knowledge than most RV salespeople that I know in the country. And he could take that product and demonstrate every inch of that product. And speak to why that's so important, Earl. We have so many salespeople that they call themselves salespeople, but if you don't have product knowledge and if you don't understand your customer,
right,
maybe you need another career field.
Well, it goes back to why Black Folks Camp 2 was created. It goes the same way. Once you know the why, you can get to the what, when, where, and how. I knew the why we needed it. Why the Sylvansport product was so important. I knew the why we needed to sell it, and I understand the why the dealerships needed us to come up there and drive the business. And I always tell folks, the more you learn about something, the more you understand about something, the better you are. And this is one of the things I've shared with dealerships and also salespeople. The more you know about a new customer, the better you're going to be able to sell that new customer. Listen, there's so many RVs out there on these different lots. You're not going to be able to learn them all. However, though, when one of the greatest things that RV dealers and RV folks can do right now during this downtime, during the time where RV sales are not as sales are not as prevalent because of the time of the year, is to learn product, to learn so that you can have a better conversation with the consumer. And I prided myself, to be honest with you, I pride myself on knowing not only just our product, but I pride myself on knowing everybody else's product almost better than they do, right? So that I can actually sell through that product. So, and so that's why I can go to RV shows and sell all the products, because I've studied them all.
And but more importantly, why people use them, and the benefit when they buy them.
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, I tell folks all the time, I have two young children, a 10-year-old and a 12-year-old. I can see my son now, who's 12 now, is going into teenage years. He's moving further and further and further away from me, right? And so what I believe about RVing, a lot of folks will say, well, RV is expensive and I don't have time to buy it. I don't have the money to buy it. I always encourage folks to look into RVing, because what you can't buy is what RVing and camping offers, which is family equity. That's what you can't buy. Yep. And family time. And it's one of the greatest pastimes of all time. And that's why I like it.
Yep.
And Earl, your son probably tells you stories today about that trip from 5 years ago.
He talks about it all the time.
You didn't even know he was watching it, right? Or noticing it.
My son can talk about that camper more than I can, because he heard it so much. And then the other thing is that even our company, Black Folks Camp 2, we were just in Roanoke, Virginia, maybe 2 or 3 months ago at their outside event. And I watched my son, and I cried, to be frank with you. I watched my son share everything about our company in such a very sincere, a very meaningful, a very measured, and a sustainable way. And I felt proud that my kid, a kid that would have those stereotypes that he does not go in the outdoors and he shouldn't go in the outdoors, but knowing that his father is in the space teaching him that, so it made me very proud.
Bob, can you bring up Don Hawes' comment there?
That one? Oh,
yeah.
This is the feeling everybody has after they meet Earl. He is the genuine. There's no BS about it. This is Earl Hunter, whether he's on our show or whether he's at an RV show or he's doing a keynote at Las Vegas for the dealers. This is Earl B. Hunter Jr.
Well, I thank you so much. I thank you, Don, for that comment. I just tell us all, listen, we're breathing. Many of us have some tumultuous times in our lives. Many of us are going to have had amazing times. We're going to have more amazing times. I would encourage all of you just to live your life and be exceptional in who you are, with flaws and alls, because we have a lot of flaws. Many of us, we all have flaws, right? And so it is my pleasure to be delightful to folks.
Well, we're glad to have you. So I wanted to give away some tickets tonight, but I didn't want to take more of your time. So here's what I'm going to do. Anybody who comment, now nothing counts after. All right, Swenson, you're the last. Thank you for your passion. I agree. So that's the last comment that counts. Anybody from the beginning of the show to now who said that they are going to the Boston show, You're going as our guest. I will put 2 tickets in the mail to you. I'll even overnight them to you so that you get them early in the week. So if you come, I'll go back through and I'll send you a private message. But anybody that said that they were going to the show, I know, who had one there? And Adam had one. I think Lori had one. But if you commented that you're going to the show, you will get 2 tickets courtesy of us. And be sure to look us up. John and I will be there for the whole time. I'll probably be most of my time at the lifestyle seminar area. John will be running around doing videos. Love to meet you. Love to talk to you.
Make sure they get a calendar too there, Bob. We're going to make sure they get a calendar.
Get the calendar.
There's one more. Right after Walter's thing, there's another note. I don't know who Allie Rasmussen is, but she had a very nice
Allie,
note.
wait a minute. Allie, isn't she the Olympic? Wasn't she the Olympic?
Oh, that's Reisman. No, that was Reisman.
Oh, Reisman. Okay, so Allie. All right, so I guess
she's just as important.
Allie, but we'll read it anyway. So touched hearing your son proudly talk up what you do and this incredible initiative. When your kids are proud and involved, nothing can beat it. And you know you've done a good job. The only thing I'll add to that, Allie, is when you see that, when you hear that, when your kids are well behaved and can explain that, then you know you did your job as a parent.
Well, you know, let's not sugarcoat anything. Hey, listen, we're yesterday is gone, and we're going forward. So we all are going to meet our maker one day, right? And so my job is to make sure that my children are able to experience RVing and experience the outdoors with your children. And it doesn't matter your race, your age, your gender. Again, our job is to make sure that we leave this country and leave this space better than it was. And if we're not doing that, what are we really doing, right? I mean, we can go buy all the vehicles and the cars and the homes and do all the stuff we want to do. But if we're not leaving our Thundercats in a space where they understand what unity means, we're only just failing them. That's what I believe.
Right. Ed Laturco says Getty Images has some great photos out on blacks enjoying camping. I don't know if you use any of those, but we'll check that out.
We don't use any of those because we're a company that actually we have over 30,000 photos because here's the thing. When we started our company, we took out over 450 people, and we have surveyed over thousands of folks, and we took out folks on our own dime. We paid for it. As a matter of fact, we spent over $250,000 on this, right? And so we have a ton of photos. We have some real photos of people really out there camping.
These aren't actors and stock photos.
No, these are not stock photos. As a matter of fact, if you go to our, I want everyone on the sound of my voice to find us on social media, right? Find us on social media, Black Folks Camp 2, and that we have 2 pages. We have one page where you have to be invited. Don't worry, we will invite you. We don't care about your race, age, or gender. But we also have a page where all you have to do is like it. And if you like it, you're there. And I promise you, every single day, you're going to see something delightful to come from us. You're going to see something delightful, whether it has to do with the outdoors or whether it has to do with just life in general.
Well, Earl, thank you very much. I know you're busy. You squeeze us into your schedule, which we sincerely appreciate. John and I will see you down in Tampa on Tuesday on Industry Day. Glad to introduce you to Dave Kelly and get you going with the Florida RV Trade Association. And John, we'll let Earl have the last word. Any comments?
Great. You know what? It's always fun talking to Earl.
Right on, John. Hey, listen, I tell you, I got a couple. I do have 2 things I want to share. You know, soon in another week or so, we're going to be launching our campground Unity Blaze flag. So it's going to have a pole and everything. You can stick that right down into the front of your campground or where your campground space. And it's an amazing flag, Unity Blaze flag, and you'll be letting everyone know that you treat everyone everywhere equally. It's just, I believe that it's something that is important for us to share with folks so folks can feel comfortable coming to your campground and having conversation with you. Again, it doesn't matter their race, age, and gender. You know, we also, on our website, you can go there, you see these amazing home flags, right? We have folks having these home flags and flying these flags above their RVs. And they're letting folks know because they want folks to know that they're welcoming and inviting. And the last thing I will share with you all, and this is probably one of the most important things I can share. As a matter of fact, if you hadn't heard anything, and if you hadn't digested anything under the sound of my voice, This is the one thing that I need you all to understand and know. I hope that everyone, even you two young fellas right there interviewing me, I hope you all have the most amazing day of your life today. But more than that, I hope tomorrow is better.
Right on, Earl.
Earl, that's fantastic. Thank you, sir. We will see you down the road. And to our fans, next week will be our Boston RV show. So we'll be talking all about the Boston show.
Woo, blackfolkscamp2.com, baby. Woo.
All right, Earl.
Hey, everybody.
Take
Take
care.
care. Thank you.
See y'all.
Let me get the girls in here.
Hi everyone, I'm Grace and this is Stephanie. We're from Lee's Auto and RV, and today we wanted to show you the teardrop trailers and the conveniences that they offer with all of the things that make it so easy to camp in them.
Yeah, so if you stick around after this video, we're just going to showcase some of our favorite things as women who sometimes do travel alone. We'll show you some of our favorite things about these teardrop campers. So call or visit us and let us know if you have any questions. We are one of the biggest dealers for little guys in the area. We have 3 different sizes, and we'd love to show them to you.
Come on down, guys.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.